The question is, can he remember, California's got that runoff election, jungle primary, where everybody's in the top two runoff.
Yep.
Katie Porter and Schiff are in the lead, but just by a few percentage points. Barbara Lee and Garvey is right down there. So you got like 4 horses up there. We'll see if the Republican is able to get into that runoff. Otherwise, you'll have 2 Democrats vying for Feinstein's seat.
Boy, I'm sure there will be no drama surrounding that race at all. What are you seeing in New Hampshire, where Nikki Haley in your last poll was surging in the Republican side here? We talked about Democrats, but in terms of the Republican primary, this has been game on for Nikki Haley since certainly the last debate, and it's not so much for Ron DeSantis based on your numbers. That poll got a lot of pickups. What are you seeing since then?
Yeah, so Haley, it's good news for Haley. She's up at 18%. She's the alternative to Trump, at least in New Hampshire. But as you mentioned, we've been doing polls in Ohio and California, and she's really at 6-7%. So in the early states, she's put in the effort and she's doing better. My concern for Haley would be, come South Carolina, she's still trailing Trump by 30 points. And if you lose your home state, that's generally, the end of the campaign. So she's going to have to really make some inroads in her home state if she wants to contend. On the flip side, Trump's numbers stay where they are. So he's still at 49-50% up in New Hampshire. So it's almost like there's a jockeying for second underneath him. And it's important. Who comes in second might become the nominee in 2028.
Well, that's right.
So there's a lot at
play.
For a lot
of reasons. Well, it could also in 24 for a lot of reasons. But in our remaining moment here, as we spend some time with Spencer Kimball from Emerson College Polling Center, this could take on a lot of different forms over the course of the next year. Is it the early states that we should be paying attention to? You mentioned the difference between Iowa, New Hampshire, and Ohio, for instance. Yeah,
so in the nominating contest, it's what we call the momentum. And so what Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis is going to try to do out of Iowa is beat expectations and then jump to New Hampshire and try to carry on some momentum into the early primary states. The difficulty there is that Trump is over 50% in all of these states. So it's hard to see where that momentum will happen. But, magic and, lightning in a bottle could happen, and we could see some changes.